Hello, investors. Boy, today was an ugly day on the market. I really wish we would have finished out the week strong, but the market doesn't care what we wish. So that's what we got. So today in my personal portfolio, I had a 2.82% loss. And also, if you followed the intraday trades that are on Stocktwits and you bought all the stocks that were on yesterday's list, you would have about the same results. Hoping for better next week. But overall, for the week, if you were to follow all of those trades, I've been tracking exactly how much you should have returned. For the week, a 5.19% gain. It's not bad. So there were a lot of trades that I made today that you saw if you were paying attention to the Stocktwits feed. I sold quite a few things, trying to mitigate risk, just trying to make it as good as we could. First one was Yayo. Early on, I did not like how it was reacting, very low volume. This was an insider at 50 cents a share, and it just wasn't reacting. I was able to get a bunch at 39 cents a share, which was a terrific deal, but it just wasn't reacting, and it was hanging out around that 39, 38 price range, so I sold it and got out of it. It actually was a 3% loss is what I took on it, but I felt like that was the right idea. And later on in the day, it kind of slumped down. You could just see the volume wasn't there. And without volume, excitement, and some sort of reaction to an insider's not good. So that was not a good choice. You live and learn. But that's one thing you look for in insider trades for sure is the volume. Next was PLCE. And the reason why I sold this later on in the afternoon was because it was just unlikely with the news of the market and what was going on that we were going to see that stock turn around. It had insider activity, but not strong enough, and it wasn't reacting enough to where it was going anywhere. I've had a lot of success with that one in the past, so that was kind of a tough thing. I was thinking it was going to turn around, but I had to be honest and realistic with it, and just with what's going on, I didn't think it was going to do well. The next is TTOO. So this probably makes some people upset because I just called it out, and I know it just got added to the list, but the thing is, there was a report that came out today, a 14A report, saying that TTOO was going to be doing a vote for a reverse split. And even though this is about a month away, I don't like that. I don't like that the board of directors would put that even on the agenda. And the reason why I don't is because reverse splits are just really bad for shareholders. And usually you see a big drop. Groupon did that, and boy, it was disastrous for anyone who held through it. I just didn't think that if the officers felt that that was going to be needed 2 months from now, then they obviously didn't have very much confidence in the stock going forward. So I didn't like that it was on there. So I sold it and got out of it. It was a 2% loss, but better than a 5%, 10%, 20% loss out of it. I'm just not confident in that stock anymore. And I know it's got so many things that should be big, but they're just not coming to fruition, and you just got to be realistic. Small loss, yes, but you just got to move on. One thing I'm always thinking about with a stock, and this is just kind of how I think, and this is the question that you need to ask yourself. Self, is the reason I like this stock forward thinking, or is it based on news that's already happened? If it's based on news that's already happened, it needs to be a day trade as a rule. It may be successful, but it's one of those things that's gonna be successful less than 24 hours. If it's something like a PDUFA that's coming up, let's say in August, then there's lots of time that's very forward thinking. Everyone gets excited, there's a run up to it. And then you play the run up. That's just the question that you need to be asking yourself. One reason I like insiders so much is because it's very forward thinking. You have an officer here who's gonna put money in a stock. He knows more than anyone else. So there's a reason why he's putting his own cash in there. That's just the way that I think, and that's something you should be asking yourself in every stock that you invest in. Is this forward thinking or is it reverse thinking? And if it's reverse thinking, I don't really like those. I like things that are forward thinking. Anyway, let's just get to the list. So this is the top 7 plus 1. And the reason why it's plus 1 is one of the stocks on here may or may not be a good investment. If something happens between now and Monday, it's going to be a good investment. If it doesn't happen, it's a horrible investment, and I don't suggest doing it. So I'm going to give us an extra one just so that we have something to go into. So number plus 1 is SLNO. They had a ton of insider activity reported tonight. And you could say, Ray, I saw that. That's really old. Yes, it was really old, but it was by Jack Schuler. By old, I mean 2019. But they just had an offering closed, and they had additional shares purchased. Very, very bullish. not only all that insider activity, that's someone who believes in the stock for a long period of time. So Jack Schuler has been buying and buying and buying and buying and buying for like a year. And so that was all disclosed today. That makes me feel pretty good about it. So I like SLNO. So that's your kind of replacement stock if one of these doesn't work out, which I'm gonna get to, and I'm gonna explain why. Okay, number 7 is ENDP. I like ENDP because it's got a PDUFA date of July 6th, and it is extremely undervalued, in my opinion. I think that the drug has a good chance of getting approved, and it's in collaboration with other pharmaceutical companies. But in looking at the others, the price action doesn't have the spikeability that ENDP has. And so I like that particular one. I like it for a run-up. So far, it's just okay. We're just kind of breaking even on it. It's been on the list for a little bit. Okay, number 6, TRVN. I like this stock a lot. This one is going to be August 7th PDUFA date, and that's a long ways away. And I'm just holding it. This is going to be on this list for a long time. Probably till around August 6th or August 5th. But it's a long-term run-up, and also there's a lot of spikeability with it because of other reasons and other things that are going on. So there's lots of catalysts. So I think TRVN, especially with what's going on in the world, that it would go up. Number 5 is ABEO. They have phase data coming up. On July 10th is expected to be announced, so I'm expecting a run-up till July 10th, and I believe that this company is undervalued also. I've just been kind of looking at it and the different catalysts that they have, and I think that it is very undervalued at the price that it is. So a couple weeks hold, and we should make some money on this guy. Okay, here's the controversial one. Number 4, HRTX. As of right now, there has not been a decision on the PDUFA date on HRTX. So, if it's approved, I think it's a good investment. If it's not approved, you should stay away from it. So the decision still it's very strange, and it makes me think that maybe it won't get approved, but the drug that's being offered is a non-opioid painkiller, and people need that. So I think the FDA is crazy not to approve it. I think there's lots of marketability of that. I think that's going to be a game changer for sure. So it's one of those stocks where if you have it and it gets approved and announced by maybe Monday morning, I don't know. I admit I've sold some of my shares of this because of that, but I'm still holding in hopes of approval. So we'll see. If it's approved, good deal. If not, stay away on Monday. Next is TTI. That's number 3. TTI had insider activity yesterday, and then tonight it had more. So I'm so excited because now that's a double. It's a double whammy, and I really like those. So I'm about 17% up in this guy, and it was the one bright spot of today. I mean, it just really, really marched up. I think it's great. Hopefully that continues, and we'll just keep going on Monday. Maybe there's something going to be announced here. I mean, that's a lot of insider activity in a row, so I really like that. TTI has been great so far. Number 2, KTOV. I like this one too. I'm up in this. This was actually a good move, and after hours, this was moving up, and so it was helping out my portfolio quite a bit, hopefully yours because you had it. And a possible partnership to be announced with Merck. This would be huge for them. This company is small, so this would be huge for them if that gets announced. And so this is very forward thinking. That's what I like about it. If that gets announced, man, watch that puppy go. It's going to be great. And number 1, this has been a great stock, and this is a forward thinking catalyst in my opinion, and there's so many things set up for it, and that is INO. INO, I'm up around 55%, pretty good. I'm going to hold it. I'm waiting on phase 1 data on that. If they announce that they get to go to phase 2, that would be quite the announcement. So we're hoping for very positive news on that. With the vaccine hopes, I just think it's a really good stock to be in. That's the list, and I do lots of work for this list, so if you could do me a favor and please hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you haven't done already, if you could subscribe and sign up for bell notifications so you can get notified to the reasoning behind each and every pick on the list, not just a standard list, but the reasoning behind it. Also, if you're looking for a powerful broker, I do love Webull, and so check out the description down below. Webull is a very powerful broker, and one thing I love about it is its after hours and pre-market. If you followed these videos before, you know I don't like to buy in pre-market. I don't recommend buying in pre-market, especially if you're new at this. Pre-market is a seller's market, but buying in pre-market is great as a seller. So that is one thing that you really want to do. So when you're looking to unload a stock, you're going to get the most for it statistically in pre-market. I also talk a lot about catching the dip and how to do that. Please check out that video also that I have, the entry point video. The entry point video would be the one to go and take a look at if you haven't done so already. I appreciate being able to converse with a lot of you on Stocktwits every day. Give me ideas, and I so appreciate it. And you guys know who you are. Miles, Captain Fatballs, T-Loop, some of the other guys. I really, really appreciate all the suggestions that you give, and hope you all have a fantastic weekend. And let's make some money next week. What do you say? Raythoven out.